Tekla.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, it's been a week since we last saw each other, right? And last time you were telling me all about your grandmother, Sharon, who passed away from a heart attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How has this last week been for you?
It was pretty good. I mean, I worked a lot, so I guess that's good for income, but...
Last time you were saying you were looking for a job.
Yeah, no, I finally got one, and...
Congratulations.
Now I'm super busy.
Yeah, busy. How does busy feel for you compared to what it was before? Is busy good? Is busy...
Yeah, I like being busy, but then it just gets, like, frustrating and overwhelming, because I'm like, I have so much to do all the time, so...
Where's the time for yourself anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's good to have an income.
Exactly.
So congratulations on your new job.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, I would like to ask you some questions about your grandmother Sharon, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
We will kind of bring her back in here with us and talk about her.
Okay.
So, you were explaining that it had kind of been, and correct me if I'm wrong, a trio, like you, your mom, and your grandma.
Mm-hmm.
How close did Sharon live to you guys?
When we first moved to Indiana, when I was like a kid, we lived not even like a half mile away. It was like
Wow.
right down the street.
Yeah.
And then eventually when we moved off that street, we were kind of, I mean, a couple miles away out of town, but not far. And that was when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So their house was like always on the way if we were going into town.
Wow. Their house, grandma and grandpa?
Yeah.
And is this the same grandpa who went to your graduation?
Yeah.
Cute. All right. What was I had a question. Oh. So they lived close.
Okay.
And now, does grandpa still live?
Yeah, he lives in
that
the same home.
Same home by himself?
Yeah. It's hard to, since I'm here, it's like I can't just go over to this house or anything.
Mhm.
But I do give him a call once in a while. My mom, she seems to be a lot more busy to go see him, which is kind of frustrating because he's not a cleanly person, so like you have to go over there and clean his house. Like I knew that, and I would do it every day in the summer when I was home. So I was always at his house still.
Is that something that Sharon used to do, was maintain the house?
Oh yeah. Clean, cook. Now it's like gross.
Oh no.
Yeah. He doesn't care though. So
Oh,
I mean I care.
You care? So you go fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What is the relationship with grandpa like? Has it changed since Sharon passed away?
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes those roles change.
Yes. I say this all the time, like to my mom, and she's just like, whatever. Or like to people, and they just don't understand. But I'm like, I'm very thankful that my grandma died, because it was like, it gave me the chance to have a relationship with my grandpa.
Wow.
So, like when she died, I was like with him all the time, and like my grandpa would always say, joke around, oh, you guys only come over here for Nana, and I'm like,
Aww.
no, like that's not true. But it really was true, and
Yeah.
like now, it's completely different.
Yeah.
So, I enjoy that because I'm like, I now have a relationship with him,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we get to like call each other all the time.
You kind of see couples as two, and when one half is gone, you see who's left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's really neat. And what was grandpa's name?
Gene Harrison.
Gene?
Well, they call him Gene. That's his middle name, Eugene.
But what do you call him?
Grandpa.
Grandpa? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people have interesting names like Peepaw or
No.
Pop Pop.
I mean, Grandma had Nana. That was her name.
Because if she had that, it makes sense that Grandpa would have a
Oh
fun
no,
name.
it was always Grandpa.
Nana and Grandpa. Okay. All right. So you had mentioned that Sharon had been sick.
Mm-hmm.
With what was it that she had?
It was, so she had like a cluster of things.
Oh.
they had said pulmonary hypertension, which is like dealing with lungs. They
Mhm.
said she had scleroderma, which was like the hardening of the organs.
Right.
Her esophagus didn't work because she had bariatric surgery
Oh, wow.
a while back, and they had taken like the extra part of her stomach and didn't use that skin or anything, which could have replaced her esophagus to help it work. So she was like on like a feeding tube all the time, like
Mhm.
just at the house, or like, and she had like a PICC line to her heart. But then like she didn't die from any of those things,
Mm-mm.
which thankfully, because I think that would have been a lot worse.
Mm.
Because like the machine, it had to be like the machine she carried, it was like she had to take out the batteries like every 2 days, and there were only like 2 batteries in there. If it ran out, she would die. Or like
Oh my
medication had to be put in like 4 times a day, and it was
Right.
like this huge process, and she'd have to change the thing so it wouldn't get infected, or like
Was she able to do those things on her own, or did she
Oh,
need
yeah.
help?
Yeah.
So she was still pretty independent despite
Mhm.
all that she had going on.
Yeah, no. She wasn't in the hospital very often. She would go for like checkups because
Mhm.
they had pretty much narrowed it down to what she needed for treatment, and it was just at the house. Like,
Mm.
and it wasn't hard for her because it was already like there, and it was secure because it was like a port.
Mhm.
But it was easy. But when she had died, it was like I was going to swim practice, I think.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure. And then my mom called me like frantically. Apparently, like my grandma, she had been just in the house, and she was like having like really bad chest pains.
Mm.
So my grandpa, I don't know if he knew what to do. I think he just kind of thought it was normal because it always happened.
Chest pain?
Yeah, like
Mm.
she'd always had pain all the time, but she wasn't really. She's kind of the person that didn't say that she was in pain.
Right.
So, eventually I think she just like collapsed, and then he eventually called, and they like took her to the hospital, which was like 5 minutes down the road.
Mm.
But I think she had died when she was there. But by the time I got there with my brother, because we were in practice,
Mhm.
she had been dead, I think. I don't know. They didn't really say much when we got to the hospital because
So what was it? It was a heart attack
I
then,
think
officially?
they didn't say, but I'm pretty sure it was a heart attack.
Yeah. Geez, so...
I don't think the coroner, like, they had really assessed it
Mm.
properly, because they didn't tell us.
Okay. So you said you were on your way to swim practice when you got the call.
Yeah.
And then I think I recall you telling me once that you even had like a big meet like
Oh.
right after, right?
Yeah, it was on a Thursday night, and then Friday morning I had to go to a state swim meet. So like you like go through sectionals and things like that, and then you go to state. My brother his state meet wasn't that weekend. They were like 2 weeks
Mhm.
behind. So I had to go to that meet, and
Mhm.
like you spend the entire weekend in Indianapolis, and that's about 2.5 hours from the house. So like the entire family had to go.
Right.
Thankfully, like my team was very supportive.
They knew what was going on.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
they all knew, and like my swim coach was like, "You really don't have to be here if you don't want to be." And I was like, "Well, she would want me to swim,
Right.
so."
That's good that
I'm
they
here.
voiced that though. So
Oh
that if-
yeah, they were so supportive
Yeah.
because it was just like I was in a hotel all weekend with girls, and
Mhm. Yeah.
it was kind of like if I'm at state, like I wasn't gonna do good because there's so many people there,
Mhm.
but it's an experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so I actually haven't heard you talk about your brother that much. I remember you had said that a guy named a cow after...
No,
a guy in your neighborhood had named a cow after you and your brother.
Yeah.
Because you were both leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about how Sharon's passing when she had her heart attack was on your mom and you.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't heard about your brother. Are you guys close?
Oh yeah, we're like, I mean, 1.5 years apart, I think, but we are so close. And I think the time of the death, it was like really hard to even process it for him, because I remember being like a male, he had to like shoot his feelings down, and I think one day he actually had like a breakdown at school,
Mm.
but I don't know. My family's
So-
like very private about it, so they wouldn't say anything. And I
Even
think-
even with each other, so
Oh.
he hasn't really spoken to you about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, now he's fine. I mean, he's 23, so like,
Mm.
it's different. I don't know.
Right. And how many years has it been?
Oh. It was my sophomore year in high school, so 5 years.
Wow. Wow, yeah.
I think that would have been 2013. Yeah. He was a senior in high school.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like despite Sharon being sick, quite sick,
Mm-hmm.
for a while, it wasn't what you guys thought would take her.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's what happened.
I thought of you the other day because you said that dragonflies are what remind you of your grandma, and that you and your mom both have dragonfly tattoos.
Yeah.
To remember her.
Yeah.
That there's this like fancy posh restaurant called like the Dragonfly.
Oh, really?
And I was watching something about it on TV, and I was like, oh, Tekla would love this place. She'd be like, we have to go.
Yep.
But it wasn't in Utah, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Or if you've watched Gilmore Girls, they have an inn in the movie called the Dragonfly Inn. So maybe if it was real, you
Yeah.
could stay there, and that would be a cute way to remember Sharon.
I would definitely go.
Yeah. But I appreciate you sharing these things with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And then I would like to, is there anything that you wanted to talk about while you had me here today?
No, I don't think so.
No? All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you in another week.
Yeah.